Alrighty, you guys. So first off today, you're obviously seeing something different. I'm here on the ground. You can obviously guess that today we're going to be talking about some alternatives to spending all day stuck in a chair. So a lot of us spend our day in a chair. We have desk jobs or something that requires us to be sitting all the time. Maybe you're a farmer and you're a tractor. Maybe you're a truck driver. You're in a car or a truck, whatever it is, a lot of us spend a lot of time sitting in a chair. So I'm going to go over some alternatives for us for maybe once you get off work and you're at home, what would usually be time spent sunk into a couch. I'm going to show you some alternatives. Or for those of you who are lucky enough that you work from home doing kind of like a desk job, but from home, I'm going to show you some really good stuff that's going to go a long way for you guys. So I'm going to actually slide back here onto this pillow and you're going to start going through it. What we're going over today is essentially floor sitting. So what we're going to do, we can use lots of different positions. We can be down here, we can be out here, like this, like this, like this. I'm going to show you a whole bunch of different options that we have available to us. One thing that's going to be important for a lot of us is to grab some kind of a pillow like this. Having some kind of a nice mat, ideally with a little bit of thickness, makes it just a little easier on our feet and the bony parts of our legs. But the pillow is huge because our hip mobility is so limited for a lot of us that we can't just sit here. So if I sit here and try and cross my legs, more difficult than when I get up here. Now if I double this up, I can get even more comfortable in that seated position. Now I can sit here and talk to you guys all day, and you can see it's less of a struggle for me. I can sit up a little bit taller. So it's really about finding the pillow height that's going to work for you. And over time, you want to try and work that down as your hips start to open up more. So this floor sitting stuff really helps open up our hips and restore the tissue that gets all knotted down and sucked out from being in that exact same position all day at a desk. So this is our basically our very first position, just a cross-legged position here. Again, use the pillow as you need. I like using this one, maybe watching TV, sitting there having conversation with people, or for working, depending on what that work is. So this is a really good working position. Another really good one, a good couple to work from, I like is what I call just kind of our long sit, just sitting up like this. It seems so simple, but the stuff goes a really long ways. You'd be surprised at how much more your hips start to open up when you do this regularly. So this one's really good if you do work from home, that you can get one of those little sliding like floor desk pieces. You can imagine what that would look like. Or if you're not that fancy, just grab your coffee table, slide it in close to you. You have a pretty good surface. You might need a pillow to adjust the height depending on how high your coffee table is as well. So this is a good option. The cross-legged is good. The wide leg is really nice. This is another good working one. We're just kind of hanging out. Maybe you're watching TV, sitting something to the couch. You're here, you're moving through multiple lines. We can also get into positions like this. There's no necessarily right or wrong. So you can do this, you can do the other side. You can bring one leg up. So if you have trouble holding your body upright and maybe you don't have as thick pillow as you like, this one can be really good because you can kind of just latch on and hold yourself up a little, just assist it a bit. So this is a good position. Same thing over on the other side. You can even use your arms. You can post up. You can do like you can do one side, whatever it is. There's no rule to this. It's about getting into different positions. For instance, when we look at this one, this leg, all things considered, is pretty similar to when I'm sitting at a chair and desk sitting, right? Like this is a pretty similar angle, but how often at the desk do you get this angle with this leg? So right now it's kind of, I'm working on this, but also even in this position, this is a really powerful one because it seems like the same angle, right? But now I have to support myself. I don't get the straight, so I have to hold my torso up straight, so I'm actually engaging my core a little and straightening to hold this position. Another one that we can move into is our 90-90 position. It doesn't have to be 90-90 though to be beneficial. So you may have heard of the 90-90 exercise. Basically what it is, 90 degrees here, 90 degrees here, but it doesn't have to be that. It can be 90 degrees, that's fantastic. Or you can even bring, when I bring these two in, you see how much easier it is for me to sit here like this. I didn't have to keep posting up anymore. If I can get into this without posting up, but it's more of a challenge. I'm turn facing you guys right now. Doing on 99, I would often face this way. It's bringing my body over. This is slightly difficult. This makes it easier. When I go to here, I can do that very easily. So it's about working with what you have available to you. So if maybe I didn't have this pillow, I might be more in this position. Because I have the pillow to prop my hip up a little bit, I can more easily get into this. So it's finding what works for you. But make sure as you're doing this, move through some positions, get into this side as well. A couple more that are really useful is this one here. Super simple. All you're doing, sitting here, squishing down your ankles a bit. So I'm now basically stretching it open at this angle. Opposite to that, doing this one as well. Now I'm opening up I'm changing the angle of my ankle while my toes are tucked under. So anyone who has pain in the bottom of their foot, this can be a good one for you because you're stretching the bottom of the foot out a little bit. So that's a good option. Surprisingly, even just laying out on the floor like this is really good. What you don't notice right away from this, maybe I'm watching TV now, like who wouldn't be comfortable laying on the floor doing this, right? Is that I'm getting a whole side body stretch here. This side's closed down, this side's opened right up. When's the last time that you stood up and stretched your side body for 15 minutes and did 15 minutes on the other side? Probably not. More recently than you. And then lastly, just our kind of cobra pose is still up like this. So this one I really like for anyone with young kids who are still down on the ground playing. That's that opportunity to kind of get on that level with them, play around, emulate some of the positions that they're getting into. You don't get into extension very much. A lot of times we're closed down with our mouths like this, so you gotta start to open that up a little bit. So those are some really good positions that we can start to get into. You can even go to a position like this, right? It's very similar to this one, but you can get into this. You can post up like this. It's really about going into different positions, and this translates over to what I wanted to talk about with anyone sitting at a desk all day is try to move out of that position as regular as possible. Ideally is like a sit stand desk, and it's not to say now I want you to stand all day. Any given position for an entire like 8 hour shift, let's say, is not going to be beneficial for us. We really want to try and move through as many positions as possible. So if you were going through some different seated positions, that would be great. If you can get up for a little while and stand there, shift your weight onto one leg, then the other leg, then split your stance this way, get a little footstool, stand up on it with one leg, then switch to the other leg. So about as many different positions as we can is the biggest thing versus being stuck into one and thinking that this is a better position than that. It's really about needing that movement, which is why we talk about 10,000 steps or just getting movement in throughout the day. 10,000 steps represents the fact that ideally you're moving throughout the day for that 10,000, not just one big block at the end of the day. And it represents that you're getting out of your desk and you're going for a little walk throughout the day, basically, is what we want. So what I'm going to challenge you guys all to do this day or the coming days here is break up your day as much as you possibly can. Make as many little movement breaks in there as you can. Try not to stick to one position for more than 30 minutes. If you can move into another position, it's fantastic. If you just don't have the setup right now, that's okay too. Just breaking a position and going into another one for a minute, 5 minutes, and going back is much better than nothing. So there's kind of that, it's not that all or nothing mentality. A little bit is better than nothing, right? So if I'm stuck at the desk all day, if I can just get up and stand up for a minute, this is better, right? So if I'm stuck with this all day with my hips, just elongating it to this is still a win for us. If we can spend an hour standing and an hour sitting, sure, that's better. But if you can break it for 5 minutes or stand up and even bring this into an extension and open that up more, that's even better for us is to try and take those tissues from their shortest position if we're working on our arm to our longest position, so that we're not stuck in one given area for too long. So that's what I got for you guys today is a bunch of different options, not only for people who are working from home. That's the ideal. If you work from home and where you're sitting lots, you can get into these a ton. But for those of us who are still going to an office or whatever that might look like for you, is when you would normally have coach time or like even dinner time, can you move to the ground and spend some time on the ground restoring your hips in those positions a little bit as well?